Bianca, do you want to give your 2-minute review of Ma's house?
It's just called Ma.
Oh, it's just called Ma? I thought it was called Ma's house.
No.
Oh.
It's just called Ma.
Mm-hmm.
My 2-second review is it's pretty effed up.
Okay.
It's not as scary as I thought it was going to be, but I'm okay with that. It's
Oh,
just
okay.
the trailers were misleading. It
Got
made
it.
you think it was going to be like a scary movie.
Did seem very
and
scary.
It's definitely messed up and twisted.
Mm-hmm.
But, oh God.
Oops, sorry.
Well,
Uh,
ruined my review.
keep going. Sorry. Messed up and twisted.
It was, but it was good. It was entertaining, and I liked it. Octavia Spencer is rad.
The bomb.
She can do anything, so.
That's
It's
exciting.
Yeah.
I saw Booksmart on Friday.
Oh, I was between that and Ma, and like Ma worked out better time-wise before coming here.
Yeah.
I'm dying to see Booksmart.
Booksmart's fun.
2-minute review, go.
My 2-minute review is it's very funny.
Okay.
I feel really old.
Oh no.
Because I was
don't go
like,
anymore.
I saw it, I liked it, but I was like, it felt very adult to me to be like a movie about high schoolers that probably high schoolers are going to be seeing.
Sure.
So I was like, wait a minute. Who's the audience? Is the audience like adults like me?
Right.
Or is it children? And if it's children,
I think it's a mix of both.
I guess it's a mix of both, but then I was like, oh my god, if it's children, like this feels very
But like Superbad was like that.
This just feels next level for some reason. And then I was thinking about it though, but then I was like, but maybe that. Then my next thought was like, but maybe like Can't Hardly Wait really is like that, and I just like missed it when I was young.
I think things have gotten a little more extreme.
It's pretty raunchy.
So I
It's
hear,
pretty
yeah.
raunchy.
But it's funny.
It's funny. It's great. It's funny. It was fun. Yeah, I liked it. I was supposed to see Aladdin, but the reviews were so bad, my friend wouldn't go. So
I actually heard it's not as bad as people think it is.
I think it's probably gonna be fine. I'll probably see it.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, and I'm really looking forward to Toy Story 4.
Me too. Can we go together?
Yeah, sure.
Yay.
You get to come with me and Casey. He's coming
Okay,
too.
that's fine.
Okay.
I'll
It's
bring the
gonna be
paper
like
towels.
It's gonna be a big event.
Yes.
We're very excited.
Can't wait.
Toy Story 4.
Very excited. Can't wait.
All right, let's do some Pilates now that
Cool.
we've told you all about our favorite movies.
Wonderful. What are we
Yay.
gonna do?
We're gonna do again like a little bit of beginner, a little bit of intermediate.
Smashing.
Yeah, and just in light of recent experiences, I think I'll focus on some like what you can do instead of.
Like
Some,
modifications.
Cool. Too. Yeah.
Alrighty.
All right. Cool.
Let's go.
Let's do it. So, all of you at home, everyone who's tuning in, thousands of you, all of our adoring fans, you'll have your mat on the ground. You'll lay down on your back on your mat on the ground. And you get started. Okay. Bring your arms along by your sides. And then just start to take a couple breaths here. If you want to, float your eyes closed. So you can really tune into your breath and your body. Feel your body on the mat below you. So feel your feet on the mat. And then feel your glutes on the mat. I want your tailbone to be really heavy, so let it anchor down. And then you have space behind your low back. You feel your low ribs on the mat, all the way up to your shoulders. Think about dropping your shoulders away from your ears, making more space between your shoulders and your ears. You have space behind your neck, and then you have your head on the mat. Float your eyes open, and then start your pelvic tilt. So exhale and imprint your low back, tuck your pelvis slightly. Inhale, let your pelvis go back to neutral. Exhale to imprint and tuck. Inhale to neutral. Exhale, imprint. Inhale, come to neutral. One more time like that. Come into your pelvic tuck and then come back to neutral. Why do we warm up like this if I want you to be in neutral for the whole exercise? That question came up recently. To me.
Okay.
So, why? We do this to get some mobility in the low back, right? Number one, just to kind of like warm it up, check in with your body, see what's going on, warm up that pelvic tuck, which we do use through class, although 90% of the time we're in neutral. But also I find it helps you find neutral a little more easily, right? So if you're laying down, it's the first time you've laid down on the mat today, it's the first time you've kind of like done a body scan, you might not have a sense of where your pelvis is sitting naturally. So if you over exaggerate both directions, you can kind of more easily find the middle point. And the middle point is where we're going for neutral. So not extended and not tucked, somewhere right in between. Cool. Float your arms up to the ceiling. And then on your inhale, fill your ribs up with air, grow your rib cage side to side. Don't move your arms at all yet, but zip up your abdominals from your pubic bone all the way to the rib cage. Inhale, expand your belly and your ribs. And then exhale and put on this zipper all the way up. Good. I want to see more east to west. Yeah, good. There you go. Yes. And then exhale, zip it all up. 2 more times just like this without the arms. Inhale, let it all go. Fill everything up. Exhale, zip, 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 zip. Even the rib cage comes together. 1 more time like that. Inhale, let it all go. Exhale, zip all the way up to the ribs. Knit the ribs together. Now keep the ribs together and start to breathe into the back of your body. So don't let your rib cage move this time. You're breathing behind you. Now I see Bianca's chest sort of rising and falling because she's actively engaging her abdominals. And on her next inhale, without opening her chest, she's going to float her arms back. And then exhale and bring her arms all the way down to her hips. And then inhale, keep the ribs shut. This is like a sustained corset, so a sustained belly wrapping. Good. 2 more like that without letting the abdominals go at all. So all of this inhaling breath is coming to the back and the ribs. And 1 more just like that. Inhale the arms back. And then exhale the arms all the way down. When your arms are all the way down, place them on the mat and then let your belly go. So then it all relaxes. Cool. So the inner core unit is created of 4 muscle groupings. Your transversus abdominis in the front, your multifidus in the back, your diaphragm on the top, and your pelvic floor on the bottom. Ideally, the pelvic floor and diaphragm are just kind of moving reflexively. We don't have to think about them too much. But here, we're actively engaging all of these the musculature in the core unit. And we want to contract it for control. We want to be able to let go of it also. So in Pilates, we work a lot in that, like, put your zipper corset on and leave it there and work. But I don't want you to stay there as you do other things. And every time you come out of an exercise, I want you to find a full release and then go back into it. And then at the end of class, I want you to be released and walking around through the world with your diaphragm breathing. So we're not holding it tight and keeping it there. Cool. Let's warm up your Pilates curl. Arms long by your side. So now we warmed up the low back, the pelvis. Now we're going to warm up the head, neck, and shoulders. But where does it move from? Your core. So take a big deep inhale, find that rib cage expanding, and then exhale, put your corset and your zipper on. And then you can't go anymore with your corset, so your head just peels right up off the mat from that belly engagement. And then inhale, roll back down, let everything open and expand in the middle of the body. And then exhale, let everything zip up the middle of the body. And curl your head, neck, and shoulders up from that. And then lower all the way back down. So the goal is not to lift your head up from your shoulders and your neck. Keep going, Bianca. But to use that deep, deep abdominal engagement to float the head up. And then when you're there, if you could rock your head side to side, you kind of would be able to. It wouldn't be stuck and stiff, and then roll all the way down. Good. Do that 1 more time. Inhale here. Exhale, curl all the way up. Then bring one leg up to tabletop here, bring the other leg up to tabletop, and then lift your arms an inch or 2 above your abdominal wall. Start to pump your arms up and down for your 100. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1 more breath with your legs in tabletop. On your next exhale, send your legs to 45. Keep pumping. Your option here would be to put your head, neck, and shoulders down if you have a lot of tightness and stiffness in your neck. And then realize that that tabletop is actually a lot more challenging than sending your legs long, because it takes a lot to hold your knees right over your hips with your tailbone really heavy. So sometimes this is even easier, but you're still in neutral. So try not to tuck your pelvis and imprint your low back. You have 2 more breaths. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Stop pumping. Bend your knees. Lower your head. Take a breath. You can rock your knee or your hips, I should say, side to side. Now here you could, we're resting, we're relaxing, we're recovering. You could imprint your low back and just feel a little massage on your low back, but then you come back to neutral. Good. Okay, lower your feet down. Send your legs along. Zip your legs together. Arms are up to the ceiling. Now I want you to think about that rib cage breath I want you to be conscious of when you're contracting and holding that sustained contraction and when you're letting the belly go, and just start to like be aware of it through this class. I'm not going to tell you exactly what to do every time, but then just like start to find awareness. Okay, so concentration is a principle of Pilates. Tuck your chin to your chest. Peel your head, neck, and shoulders off the mat as you reach up over towards your toes. Your arms stay in line with your shoulders and you find a capital C shape. So we're not folding forward and collapsing over the legs. The abs are still working. And then roll down one bone at a time. Good. And then curl up. If this is too much for you, I'm going to show a modification after Bianca does this roll down. And actually, not that it's just like, oh, you have to do this because it's easier. It can also be a very effective exercise. So roll up to sit. Good. And then sit up tall. And then place your feet flat on the mat. And put your feet inner hip distance apart and your hands behind your thighs. Everyone can do this variation. Round your spine out so you're behind your sits bones and you have a big capital C shape in your spine. And then climb your hands down the back of the legs, hand over hand over hand over hand. Find the deepest scoop you possibly can in your belly to come right back up, hand over hand over hand over hand. Keep the round shape. And then you do that again. So your challenge here, even if you're an advanced practitioner, is to feel that cinching of the corset and that scooping of the belly deeper, deeper, deeper. So we can always go back to basics and get deeper into the work and find a deeper connection. Exhale to come up, scoop, scoop, scoop. Do two more just like that. Inhale, down. Find the point where your abs really kick in. They're doing all the work. And then you stop and hold just a moment before you come up one more time. Round down. Good. And roll all the way up. Great. Now let's do a little play with this idea a little bit. Send your legs long on the mat, but start sitting up tall. Arms are long in front of you. We're gonna go down incrementally and hold some positions on our way down. If you just did that version and that was like what is available to you, put your feet on the mat and do that with us with your knees bent and your feet flat on the mat, but use your upper body the same way I'm gonna describe here. So tuck your chin to your chest, round your abdominals out, scoop your abs, and then go down 1/4 of the way and hold. And breathe, pause here, take 2 breaths, take another breath. And then roll down so that your low back touches the mat, but nothing else. And then pause. Take 2 breaths. Take another breath. And then roll back just to the bra line or right under the tips of the shoulder blades above your Pilates curl and hold for 2 breaths. Now go to your Pilates curl. So down a little bit more, but hold. Scooping out, working the curl at the breastbone. Yeah. And then roll all the way down to the mat. Good. Let's do that on the way up. Tuck your chin to your chest. Come just to your Pilates curl. Think about scooping right at the breastbone and hold for 2 breaths. 1 breath. And then you're going to peel up just above your Pilates curl so your bra line is on the mat or you're right below your shoulder blades. 2 breaths. And then come up halfway. And 2 breaths. And then come up. So you're 3/4 of the way. You're still in your tuck and round. 2 breaths. And then roll all the way up to sit. Fold forward. You can collapse this time to take a big stretch and a breath. Relax your neck, relax your shoulders. So that's one way we can like get a lot better at our roll downs. Not only if we're beginner, but also if we are advanced. We can hold and practice that sustaining hold, right? Okay, arms long in front of you, roll yourself down to the mat, 1 bone at a time. Bend your knees, place your feet flat on the mat. Bring your arms long by your side. So for single leg circles, I'm gonna show you a modification first. Both knees can start bent and feet flat on the mat. The right leg can come up into the air with a bent knee and it can turn out slightly. And then you could start your single leg circles here. So you bring the right inner thigh across, down, around, and up. Good. And your goal here is to keep that left foot and knee totally still and both hips totally still. And it can be this small. And the main goal here of single leg circles is that the work is happening from your abdominals, not your back, not your hip. So this could be a way to kind of refine that connection to your abs by having that extra support. And then reverse directions here. Good. So really, Bianca is super advanced, but we're like, oh, hey, let's go back to basics. I want you to really focus on that abdominal wrapping and letting this leg move from your belly, your core, and more stability in that right hip. Good. And then bend your knee in, place the foot down, lift the left leg up, and then it's bent and it turns out slightly. And you start your single leg circle across, down, around, and up. Pause, Bianca. Open your right foot a little bit more. I want her right foot to be right in front of her right sits bone. It was a little bit across the body, and keep going like that. Good. And your abdominal connection is holding everything in your core engaged. The leg is like it's not even attached to your body. The hip's not working, the back's not working. It's all in the abs to make that momentum. And then reverse. And let's be honest, your leg's working, right? Especially your inner thigh, but it's coming from the abs. It's not just like, oh, let me hang out my hip and let me move this from my super low, weak back, right? Good, one more. And then bend your knee and give it a little squeeze. Place the foot flat on the mat. Good. Let's do a roll up with your knees bent to come up. So hands behind the thighs, tuck your chin to your chest. And then you're gonna climb yourself up the thighs. And this is another great way to practice that roll up coming up and sit nice and tall. So there's the half roll down version that we did where you start sitting and you walk your hands halfway and you're there. But then there's also like you can do this full roll up where you grab your thighs and it assists you to come up. Great. Okay, set up for rolling like a ball. Scoot your butt forward on the mat. Heels and butt are super close together. Wrap your hands around your legs, hold onto your shins, round your spine, come behind your sits bones, then lift your heels. Okay, when you come, now the super point of discussion I'm talking about today, shoulder blades only. You roll only to your shoulder blades. That means you use your abs to stop you there and bring you right back up. Inhale, tuck your pelvis to tilt back, shoulder blades, and then come right back up. Good, yeah, that's okay. Inhale, rock back. I would rather you have to put your foot down and catch yourself than go onto your neck because you're doing it right? So that's okay. You come up, you're right behind your sits bones. Inhale, rock back. Exhale, roll up, shoulders away from your ears. Inhale back. Exhale up, you have one more. This is a massage on your spine, so feel it flow through the back, and then lower your feet down. Now the modification for that is just holding your rolling like a ball, just staying here, and let's all do this together. And again, if you're an advanced practitioner, you're seeing how much can I roll back, how much can I scoop my abs, how much can I pull my heels to my butt without moving out of this ball shape. And maybe you're a beginner and you're just trying to round your spine and lift your heels, and that's totally fine. 2 more breaths. 1 more. And then lower your feet down to the mat. Roll down onto your back slowly with control. In whatever version is best for your body. Scoop back a little bit on the mat. We'll go into our ab series. Yay! Woo! So we have single leg stretch and double leg stretch and scissors and lower lift and crisscross. Hug your knees into your chest. We start with our single leg stretch first. Curl your head, neck, and shoulders up. Bring both hands onto your right knee. Take your right hand, put it on your right ankle. Keep the left hand on the right knee. Send the left leg long. And switch your hands and your feet at the same time. And switch, and switch, and switch, and switch. Keep going here for 5 and 4. Your inner thighs will brush together. You'll pull that knee in towards your body. Last 1 and 1. Bend the knees, lower the head. Take a breath. Take 2 breaths here to rest. Inhale. And exhale. Your modification here could be leaving your head, neck, and shoulders down for a lot of this work. Inhale and exhale, or a smaller range of motion even, right? Especially for this next one, you could think about the leg going on to a 90-degree angle more so than a 45. Curl your head, neck, and shoulders up. Watch the furniture behind you with your arms. And then you're gonna bring your arms by your ears long and send your legs to 45. Bend your knees in, circle your arms around, grab your knees. Inhale, send everything away from each other. Exhale, bring it back in. Inhale to lengthen the body. Exhale to scoop the abs and pull everything back into the middle. 3 more times. And 2. 1 more. Good, and then lower the head, neck, and shoulders down. Good, rock your hips side to side or your neck side to side or both. Good, good, great. Curl your head, neck, and shoulders up. Send both legs straight up to the ceiling. Take one hand behind your thigh, calf, or ankle. The other leg lowers halfway down and pulse that right leg towards your face twice. Pulse, pulse, switch. Pulse, pulse, switch. Let's move slow today through this one. So do that, make the pulses nice and luxurious. You're gonna pulse, and that pulse is coming from your low abdominals. So I want you to feel, your belly is already wrapped and contracted because you're curling up, and I want you to feel an extra little pull between your belly button and your pubic bone as you pull that leg towards your face. Last one on each side, right and left. Bend your knees, lower your head, and breathe. Good. Let's set up for lower lift. If you have any back issues, your hands come into a diamond shape, lower your butt. Otherwise, they come behind your head, stacked one on top of the other. Curl your head, neck, and shoulders up. Send both feet straight up to the ceiling in Pilates stance. Make your tailbone heavy. There you go, and your abs kick on. Lower your legs halfway down, and then use that low ab to scoop and lift the legs. Inhale as you lower down. Exhale, scoop to lift. Inhale down, exhale up. Let's do 3 where we go down fast. Down and slowly up. And down on 1 and slowly up. One more time. Down fast, slowly up. Bend your knees, lower your head. Take a breath. Good, so just playing with that tempo, keeping our brains on, keeping us concentrated, keeping us focused. Because concentration is principle of Pilates. I've been thinking about a lot lately. Mind-body connection. Hands behind your head, one on top of the other. Legs are bent into your chest. Curl your head, neck, and shoulders up. Send one leg long and twist your torso to the opposite knee and switch. And switch, and switch. Good. So really focus on hip stability here and rotating your rib cage. That's what I want your goals to be. One leg goes long, one leg comes in, but your hips are not moving in a mambo. Watch that rock. Try to bring your armpit to your knee and try to curl up off your shoulder blades for the last 3 and 2. One more. Good. Come back to the middle, lower everything down, and breathe. Perfect. Bianca's working up a sweat over here. So that's good for her. Take your hands on your thighs and rock yourself up to a seated position. Let's do spine stretch forward. So scoot your booty back, sit up nice and tall. So we've warmed up all the flexion in the back, and now we're going to use it, and we're going to do this combination of sitting tall with our abs and reaching forward with our abs. You can think of this like a seated Pilates curl. Arms go right in front of your shoulders. Sit up tall along an imaginary wall behind you. Feet are flexed. And then dive forward up and over your rib cage in a candy cane shape. And then rebuild your spine up one bone at a time. Good. Inhale, use your abs to lift and reach forward. Exhale, use your abs to lift your spine up taller. Inhale, lift and reach. I still want you to have that feeling of this corset. So as you exhale, the corset goes on tighter and you scoop the belly. Good. 2 more times. Inhale, lift and reach forward. Exhale, pull the abs in to grow tall. One more. Inhale, up and over. Exhale, lift, 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 lift. Perfect. Open your arms to the side slightly. They're in your periphery. Twist your torso to the face one side. You're facing your right. Dive your left pinky finger to saw off your right pinky toe. Flip your back palm, gaze at it. Come up in your twist to sit tall. Twist to the other side. Same thing on the other side. Right finger to left toe. Flip the back palm, gaze at the hand. Lift up and switch and dive. Good. And then start to flow with your own breath. I'm not going to cue it exactly, but move a little more quickly in this breath pattern. And I want you to think about sitting taller in the middle than you've ever sat before all day. Good. And then bring a little more attention to your hips, everyone, that those hips stay square. So as you dive, that opposite hip does not jut back. It has to stay forward where it is, right? Both sits bones anchored down as mat. One more on each side. This is your last one right and your last one left. Come to the middle. Zip your legs together. Bend your knees, place your feet flat on the mat. And then do your half roll down all the way down. So let yourself crawl down the backs of the legs until you come to be a couple of inches off the mat, and then you control yourself the rest of the way. Good, and then scoot forward just a little bit. We'll do corkscrew. So arms long by your sides. We're gonna start with our tick-tock. Your back body is hugging the mat a lot here. So this is one of the first times we start to see like the whole back of the body working to assist us eventually to get our legs up over our head, right? Today it's going to 90, it's totally okay, don't freak out. But one day, as you've seen before, it goes up over your head. Okay, so bend your knees into your chest. We'll start with tick-tock. Both legs go straight up to the ceiling in Pilates stance. Your hips can move, but your ribs may not. Bring your legs as far to the right as you can, and then bring them back to center. Bring them as far to the left as you can, and then bring back to center. And when I say as far as you can, keep going, I mean as far as you can without moving your ribs. And I want you to inhale as your legs go out, and exhale, use that belly wrap to bring it back in. So that corset is what causes the legs to come back to the center from either side. And then take a breath, bend your knees, bring your knees to the middle, bend your knees into your chest, give them a little squeeze. You can rock your hips side to side. And we're gonna do our full corkscrew now. Arms long by your side. So same idea, but we add a little circle. So both legs go up to the ceiling. Bring your legs as far as you can to the right, and then lower them forward, down and around towards the mat, all the way to the left and back to center. And then left, down and around towards the mat to the right and back to center. So they're trying to find like a 45-degree angle from your body here as they lower. Good, and you're using your hands and your shoulders and your back to really stabilize the upper body. Good. Inhale and exhale. One more time in each direction. You go out to the right, down and around, over to the left and in, out to the left, down and around, over to the right and in. Bend your knees, give them a squeeze. That's an intermediate exercise that we're sprinkling in. And rock your hips side to side. Good. Now rock up to sit. Turn on over to your belly. And we'll set up for swan. Start with your hands stacked one on top of the other and your forehead on your hands. Your glutes are relaxed, so let those go. Maybe internally rotate your toes to achieve that. Press your pubic bone and your two hip bones down into the mat and lift your belly button up. Then lift your hands up off the mat with your head glued to it. And then lengthen your body, grow taller as you lower back down. Abdominals lift first. Shoulders draw down your back second. Chest lifts off the mat third. Go ahead and do that. Abs, shoulders, chest. Yeah. And then grow, 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 grow as you come all the way down. Let's do two more of those. Abdominal scoop, shoulder blades glide, chest lifts, and your glutes are relaxed. Don't squeeze your glutes. Check in with those glutes. Lengthen, 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 lengthen. So this is an opportunity for us to redirect our tension and redirect what is part of our body is doing the work. A lot of times when we're in this position and we're lifting something, it's like, yeah, my butt's gonna work. We are trying to tell the body, not today. Good, and then lower all the way down. Perfect. Prop yourself up onto your forearms. Make two fists. Bring your knuckles together like you're wearing rings and they're touching. You can either zip your legs together or have your legs parallel, hip distance apart. And you're gonna kick your right heel to your butt twice and switch to the left and switch to the right. Good. So you're going side to side here. You're pressing down into your forearms to engage the upper body. You're lifting the belly up off the mat. So if there was a fire on the mat, you would not want to get burned. Lift, lift, lift. Good. Last two. And one more, and you're trying to eliminate rocking forward and back here. Beautiful. And then lower your head down. Send your arms straight in front of you. Find some space. Good. Lift your feet and your arms up. Lift your chest up and go for a swim for 10, 9. And you're trying to swim as quickly as you can with your hands and your legs while your torso doesn't move. Your glutes are going to work here. 4 and 3 and 2. Lower everything down on 1. Bianca, sit back to your heels into a child's pose and take a breath. Beautiful. Good, and you're breathing super deep into your body, letting your pelvic floor relax. So just like I was talking about, your belly can't get stuck in a contracted position, neither can your pelvic floor. So it needs to lift and lower with your breath, just reflexively and naturally, and then roll all the way up to a seated position. Beautiful. All right, let's head for side kicks. So lay on your side. and scoot your feet a little closer to the front edge of the mat. We're gonna do 8 repetitions of everything today. So that's what you're gearing yourself up for. Flex the top foot. Think about lengthening that left leg or top leg, right leg, longer, whichever leg it is for you. I don't know, I can't see you. Longer than your bottom leg. I mean, I see you, but I can't actually see you. Good. Lengthen that hip away to make that leg longer. Lift the top leg up to hip height. Bring it forward, pulse it towards your face twice, point the toe to sweep it back. Flex to bring it forward, kick, and then point it back. It's a little small kick. And the kick is happening from the low belly again. So it's kind of like our scissor, right? And then all of our hips are super stable. You have 8 of these. You probably have like 2 more, right? Are you counting? 3. And 2. She's counting. And 1 more for a total of 8 front and back. And then lower the leg down. We'll do 4 flex foot lower heel. Sorry, flex foot lower point. And then we'll do 4 the opposite way. So start lifting your leg with a flex foot, pointing your toe to lower down 4 times, and then you're gonna reverse it. Point to come up, flex to lower. Why do we switch the point and flex, Jenny? Well, it kind of just works the front and the back of the leg a little bit differently, engages one side a bit more. Neither is right or wrong. You could also take this foot choreography out. Everything's still happening, right? But it's kind of fun. Again, concentration. Lift the leg up to hip height. You're gonna flex the foot, do 4 circles in one direction with a flexed foot, and keeping the hip super still. So a lot of times, point the toe, reverse for 4. A lot of times we overshoot our range of motion in these exercises. We just think we can go super big, and our hips are not stable, and it just doesn't help us in that way. So lift the top leg up to hip height, bend the knee, place the foot on the mat in front of you. Or if this is not available to your knees and hips, you can place the knee on the mat, either way, but you have to lift your knee up. And then lift your bottom leg up off the floor, point the toe, and make a circle with 4 times with a pointed toe in one direction. And then flex the foot and reverse. So our goal here is glute strength, hip stability, core strength, core stability. Lower the leg down. Bring the top leg onto the bottom leg. Point both toes, lift both legs up off the mat. So lift the bottom leg and bring the top leg with you. And then beat your inner thighs together for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Lower both legs down. Flex your feet. Lift your top leg up to hip height. Bend your knee to your chest. Straighten your leg forward in front of you, sweep your heel back, point your toe, bring your heel to your butt, and then smooth that out. Keep going just like that for a bicycle. This is 2, you're gonna have 4 in this direction. And 4 in the other direction. So point back, flex forward, bend the knee, good. 3. Your hip has to be super still here. So this is one where that's like super hard to control, but I want you to fight for it. Last one. And then lower your leg down and take a breath. Now we internally and externally rotate. So lift the top leg up to hip height with a flexed foot. Bring your toes to face the ceiling. And today we're gonna actually super internally rotate. So bring your toes all the way down to the ground. And then bring your toes up to the ceiling and down to the ground. And I want that rotation to be happening in your hip the same way Bianca's is. So her whole leg is turning out and her whole leg is turning in, not just her foot and her ankle. That would be really aggressive on her knee. But here, we're letting the abdominals stabilize the hips to let the bone move in the hip joint. Are you counting? 2 more. 2. Did I guess it? Last one. Yes! 8 total ones. Lower your leg down. Roll onto your back. Let's take a quick figure 4 stretch before we move over to the other side. So whatever working leg you were using, over the opposite leg for your stretch here. Okay. Any better?
They're a little better.
Oh, good. That's great. Okay. Okay, uncross the legs and then come to your other side. So we work the opposite side now. Set yourself up along the back edge of the mat. Good. Feet are forward. Perfect. Your hips and shoulders are stacked and you're in one straight line. And then your feet are forward in a slight kickstand shape. and your abdominals are engaged. Lift your top leg up off the mat, flex the foot, bring it forward, kick, kick, point to sweep it back. For 8, you have 7 more. Flex, kick, kick, point, and sweep. Flex, kick, kick, point, and sweep. As you're doing this, I want you to just think about lengthening your leg even longer out of your hip. So the whole time, it's this like sustained feeling of how long can I get my leg? That's how you get legs like Jane Fonda, like Jennifer Aniston, like, I don't know, everyone, right?
Yeah.
Long and lean. This. 3,
Yeah.
and 2. I'm pretty good with my mental counting. And 1. Good. And then lower your leg down, flex both feet, lift the top leg with a flex foot, point it at the top, lower it down. Add some of your extra resistance here of your own. So imagine you're using the top side of your leg, this whole sheet of muscles, to lift the leg up through something heavy like quicksand or honey. And then on the way down, imagine you have a magnet in between your inner thighs and it wants to come to the floor, but you want to resist it a lot. And after you've done 4 with pointed, after your 4 with flex, you can stop. Bend the top knee, place the foot on the mat in front of you. Lift, ooh, I lied, circles. Send that leg long. Lift this foot up with a flex foot, and you have 4 circles in one direction with a flex foot. Trying to stabilize this hip, so remember, it's probably not as big as you want it to be, I promise. And then point and reverse. Or maybe it is. Maybe you're super, super advanced, and it is. But I don't really, it's not about how big the circle is, right? It's about how stable are the hips and how long is the leg. Bend the leg, place it flat on the mat in front of you. Lift the bottom leg up with a flex foot, and you have 4 circles with a flex foot here. Using that inner thigh. This is an opportunity to work on that adductor. Good. And then lower the leg down. Send the top leg long. Point both toes. Lift both legs up with the bottom leg. And then beat your inner thighs for 8 and 7, 6 and 5, 4 and 3, 2 and 1. Lower both legs down. Flex both feet. Lift the top leg up. We have our bicycle. Knee to chest. Flex foot forward. Sweep it back. Point the toe once it's behind you. Bend the heel to the butt. Good. And try to eliminate any movement in the hips so it's smaller, Bianca. There you go. Yeah, I feel it here, not here. So if you don't feel it in your booty, maybe think about sticking your booty out a teeny tiny bit and moving your legs slower so you can really focus on and turn on your glute. And after you do 4 in the front, you back pedal 4 times. So concentration is huge because if I can get to a point where I have mental control over my body, meaning I'm first of all aware that I'm doing these side kicks, I can feel it in my hip. I'm like, that's my hip, that's my hip. I don't feel it in my glute, I don't feel it in my core. Then if I'm concentrated enough to A, notice that, B, I can concentrate enough to go, hold on a second, let me do this, and let me see how much I can make my butt work. You know, like it's like putting that our body will do what we ask it to if we ask it to enough. And sometimes I think that we feel like my body's just not going to do it, so we don't try. But the more we can like be like, no. So we have to learn new neural pathways. Our body is used to doing one thing because our brain and our body are connected in a certain way. So we actually have to like do a lot of repetition in the right way to get our brain to relearn that pattern, that neuromuscular pattern. Science, you guys. And I'm not a scientist person at all. But it's just true, okay? Neural pathways are real. It's just science, okay?
Okay.
I can't cite where that came from, but I can tell you that it's true. Great, let's finish. Flex both feet. Lift the top leg up to hip height. You have your internal and external rotation. So your inner thigh rotates your toes to the ceiling, and then it rotates it all the way down to the ground, and then it brings it back up. I do recommend doing some reading about neural pathways, specifically with movement. And also if you're ever somebody who's experienced pain, like chronically or acutely, but often, and looking at some of the research is really interesting about retraining the brain and rewiring the neural pathways. Good. 2 more, I think. And lower the leg down. Come on to your back. Crisscross that working leg over the opposite leg. And take your stretch here, your figure 4. So you can pull the leg into the chest. That feels good to you. Okay, uncross your legs. We are going to do 4 teasers. We're gonna do 3, right up, right down, right up, right down, right up, right down. We'll take a break, and then we'll do it. Yes? Yeah, great. Bend your knees into your chest. She's like, I guess, that's what you said. Send your legs to a high 45 and bring your arms straight up to the ceiling. Roll up to your teaser. So you peel the head, neck, and shoulders up off the mat. You reach for your toes. You stop behind your sits bones and you hold here. And then you're gonna roll down, keep your legs where they are. Bring your shoulder and your head all the way down. Inhale here. Put that corset on again and peel up from that corset. Come up to your teaser. And then you're gonna control yourself back down slowly. When your head touches, take your big deep inhale, exhale, corset comes on and you lift from the core. And then you lower back all the way down. Once you're down, bend your knees, take a breath. Rock your hips side to side. Rock your neck side to side. Good. You can either send your legs long to 45 from your chest here for your next one, or straighten your legs on the mat to come up in one piece. Arms are gonna go straight up to the ceiling. If your legs are long on the mat, squeeze your inner thighs together. Point your toes. And then lift your lower body and your upper body up into your high V teaser, reaching for your toes. Your pelvis is tucked and you're behind your hips. Your sits bones, I mean. And you're reaching for your toes and you're holding. Take 2 more breaths. This is your last teaser. And then roll down with control. Both pieces of your body lower. Try to get your shoulders and your heels to touch at exactly the same time. That's the control you're trying to find. Very good. Come up to stand. Good. Do I want you to stand? Yeah, I want you to stand. We'll do a front support. We'll do 8 serratus push-ups, and then we'll do 8 Pilates push-ups to end. Arms straight up to the ceiling, shoulders away from your ears, tuck your chin to your chest, gather your ribs together, and peel off the mat one bone at a time, or off the imaginary wall, I should say. Walk your hands out to a high plank. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Shoulders right over wrists. And you're gonna hold here for 10 and 9. You're actively pressing the floor away from you. Belly is lifting and scooping. Pelvis is slightly tucked. Energy is out your heels and your head. Head is not hanging or craning up. 3, 2. Pike your hips. Take a moment. Feel this as like a stretch or release, and then climb your hands back to your feet. Hang forward over your legs for just a moment. Bend your knees slightly, and then roll your spine all the way up. Arms come up to the ceiling with you. Shoulders away from your ears. We're gonna go into our serratus push-ups here. So roll down the imaginary wall, peeling the spine off, find your hands on the mat. Walk your hands out to your high plank position. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now once you're here, take yourself down to a forearm plank. And you're still in one straight line here. See how Bianca's perfectly straight? You're gonna lower your body by squeezing your shoulder blades together, and lift your body by pressing your shoulder blades apart. You have 8 of these. If this is too much for you, you could be on your knees and still do this. I want you to find this movement and this power in your serratus, which moves your shoulder blades. After you do 8, which is a lot, you're gonna come out of this carefully. However feels good to come back up to stand. So you can either lower your knees down, or you could just bring your hands back up and pike your hips, whatever feels best. Ultimately, we'll end standing again. Bend your knees slightly, rebuild your spine up. The same way we talked about using your abs for spine stretch forward, that's where this comes into play. Your abs lift you up. And then roll down. We have 8 Pilates push-ups, or you just hold your plank. Those are your options. Find your hands on the mat, walk your hands forward. 5, 4, 3. So Pilates push-ups are narrow elbow push-ups. Your elbows go back to your heels as you press down and up. 7. Your abdominals are still scooping. Your pelvis is still tucking slightly. Energy out your crown of your head and the heels of your toes. Head in line with your spine. Your butt is not lifting up above your back. After you do 8, pike your hips to the ceiling. Good. Bring your feet to parallel, and then tread your heels out one at a time. And send your butt high up to the ceiling. Feel a lot of opening in the backs of the legs. Let this feel really good. Do about 2 more. Bring your feet to still. Walk your hands back to your feet. Hang here for just a moment. Find a small bend in your knees. Don't lock those knees. And then take a nice big deep inhale. On your next exhale, use your abdominals to rebuild your spine up all the way. Arms come up to the ceiling. One final time. Drop your shoulders away from your ears. And then press the arms down to the side. Your posture's perfect. And you're ready to take on the world.
Yes.
Yes. Here we go. Yay. Good work. Good
We
work.
did it.
We did it. That was beautiful. All right, friends. Thank you so much. You can find us here again in 2 weeks. Same time, same place.
Yep.
Wednesday, 8 p.m. in 2 weeks. It's the 19th.
Yes.
And then you can also find us on YouTube. So you can go to YouTube, type in Watch That Rock Pilates, and then we'll come up and you'll be like, oh my God, and you'll see all of it. We have
I know
like
that.
almost 20 classes. This is 18.
Yeah.
We're so close to 20 classes,
Yay.
which means you can do Watch That Rock Pilates every day for almost a month and do a different workout every day. I don't remember what they are, but you'll find out. And then I'm trying to plan some IRL, in real life, classes in the city in August in some outdoor space.
Fun.
So stay tuned. If you're not on my mailing list and you want to be, send me a DM and I'll add you with your email address. Yay!
Yay.
Good night.
Bye.
Bye.